Part 3: The Recovery Code Hook. The system that never dies: how forests reboot after total destruction. What if the most advanced recovery protocol on Earth was written by a forest? Not a server farm, not a military bunker, not an AI lab, a forest. Because when a forest is hit by fire, drought, clear cutting, or a major disturbance, what humans often call destruction is sometimes only the collapse of the visible layer. The canopy falls, the trunks blacken, the skyline disappears, and to the human eye, it looks like the system is gone, dead, finished, erased. But underground, something astonishing can remain: memory. And that changes everything. This is Part 3, The Recovery Code, the final chapter of our Forest's Dark Web series. And if you understand this, you will never think about resilience the same way again. A system crash, in ecological terms, is a disturbance powerful enough to disrupt the normal flow of energy, water, nutrients, and biological interactions. Wildfire, extreme drought, industrial logging, wind throw, insect outbreaks, flooding, heat stress, different triggers, same consequence. The system loses structure, shade disappears, soil temperatures rise, moisture drops, nutrient cycling shifts, habitat fragments, food webs are shaken. From above, it can look like a total blackout. But forests are not built only from what stands upright, they are also built from what remains. Ecologists use a powerful term for this: biological legacies. These are the living and structural remnants that survive the crash roots: seed banks, spores, microbial communities, organic matter, remnant trees, standing dead wood, fallen logs, and surviving patches of habitat. They are not leftovers, they are recovery infrastructure. Think of them as the external hard drive the fire did not erase. The visible operating system crashed, but the code is still in the soil. Now comes the part most people never see. The forest does not reboot by rebuilding the tallest trees first. It reboots by stabilizing the foundation, soil. After a severe disturbance, the first battle is not beauty, it is chemistry, structure, moisture retention, nutrient availability, microbial survival. This is where fungi and soil microbes become some of the earliest recovery agents. Not all fungi do the same job. Forest soils contain many functional groups: decomposers that process dead material, mycorrhizal fungi that connect with roots, and other microbial communities that help regulate nutrient cycling, soil structure, and regeneration conditions. After disturbance, these underground communities can strongly influence what returns, how fast it returns, and whether seedlings can establish at all. In other words, before the forest looks alive again, the underground workforce is already rebuilding the conditions for life, processing debris, stabilizing soil, reopening nutrient pathways, preparing the ground for the next generation. This is the forest's version of safe mode: minimal visuals, maximum repair. And if any large living trees survive, especially mature trees with active root systems, they can become critical anchors in recovery. They are not magic, they are infrastructure. Surviving trees continue to photosynthesize. They continue to feed roots and soil organisms. They continue to influence shade, temperature, humidity, and habitat. They may provide seeds. They may reduce heat stress for young recruits. They may help preserve local ecological continuity. In a damaged landscape, a surviving tree can function like a powered node in a broken grid, keeping local processes active while the wider system reorganizes. And this matters because recovery is not just about which species come back, it is about how fast relationships reconnect. But this is where the science becomes even more important. Not every forest recovers the same way, and recovery is not guaranteed. Severity matters, frequency matters, climate matters, soil condition matters, landscape fragmentation matters. What humans remove after the disturbance matters. If a disturbance is too intense, too frequent, or followed by management that strips away the biological legacies, clearing dead wood, compacting soils, removing seed sources, disrupting remnant patches, recovery pathways can narrow dramatically. That is one of the deepest lessons in ecology. Resilience is not invincibility. It is the capacity to reorganize while retaining core functions. That is a very different idea. A resilient system can be wounded. It can lose structure. It can change form. It can look broken. And still, recover. Then begins the next phase: succession, the rewriting of the network. To the human eye, this stage often looks chaotic. Grasses appear, shrubs spread, fast-growing species arrive. Some dominate briefly, then fade. Others arrive later and persist. People call it messy. Ecology calls it system reconstruction. Early colonizers are not mistakes, they are patches. They cover exposed soil, they reduce erosion, they change light and moisture conditions, they add organic matter, they reshape microbial communities, they create microsites where later species can establish. This is not random regrowth, it is staged recovery. The forest does not jump from ash to ancient canopy in one move. It passes through functional phases, and each phase writes conditions for the next. So, a recovering forest is not merely regrowing biomass, it is rebuilding relationships. And now we reach one of the most important resilience principles in all living systems: diversity. A forest with many species and many functional traits usually has more ways to absorb shock and restore function after disturbance. Why? Because different species respond differently. Some tolerate heat better, some tolerate drought better, some stabilize soil faster, some regrow quickly, some persist slowly and rebuild long-term structure. Some support specific microbes, pollinators, or nutrient pathways. When one pathway is damaged, another may compensate. This is why biodiversity is so often linked to resilience. In systems language, people sometimes call this functional redundancy, though scientifically, it's more precise to say overlapping or complementary functions, because no two species are truly identical. And that precision matters. It doesn't weaken the idea, it strengthens it, because the real lesson is not that systems need duplicates. It's that systems need multiple ways to keep functioning. And the point becomes painfully clear when we compare diverse forests with monocultures. If your entire system depends on one species, one supplier, one node, one expert, one password, one route, one point of failure, then it may look efficient, but it is fragile, efficient until impact. The forest teaches the opposite. Resilient systems distribute function. They overlap capabilities. They preserve memory. They keep backups. They protect recovery conditions, not just peak performance. And during recovery, the system faces another challenge: opportunists. Disturbance opens space. Open space attracts rapid colonizers. Some help recovery. Some redirect it. Some compete with native regeneration. Some alter soil, light, and resource flows in ways that change the entire future of the ecosystem. So, recovery is not only about regrowth, it is also about filtering. Which species establish? Which interactions persist? Which functions return first? Which pathways dominate? Which changes strengthen the system? And which quietly destabilize it? In systems language, recovery is not just rebooting, it is secure rebooting. That idea should sound familiar, because this is the exact point where the forest stops being nature content and becomes a blueprint for human survival. In cybersecurity, after a breach, many people focus only on the compromised machine. The forest would ask a deeper question: what happened to the protocols? Did trust relationships fail? Did redundancy fail? Did segmentation fail? Did monitoring fail? Did backups exist? Were they isolated? Were recovery procedures tested? Was there memory in the system? Logs? Snapshots? Fallback pathways? In supply chains, we obsess over inventory and shipping speed. The forest asks, what legacies did you preserve? Alternative suppliers? Regional buffers? Repair capacity? Cross-trained teams? Local knowledge? Fallback routes? In cities, we design for growth, efficiency, and appearance. The forest designs for disturbance. It expects fire. It expects drought. It expects loss. And because it expects loss, it stores recovery code in distributed form. Not in one tower, not in one authority, not in one node. In relationships, that may be the most important line in this entire series. The forest survives not by saving every tree, but by preserving the protocols that let life reconnect. So if you want a system that lasts your company, your network, your city, your mission, your family, stop asking only, how do I prevent failure? That matters, but it is not enough. Also ask, how do I recover when prevention fails? Where is your underground memory? What are your biological legacies? What did you preserve that can restart the system? Which functions are duplicated or distributed? What can reboot in safe mode? what must never be stripped away after a crisis, because the strongest systems are not the ones that never burn. They are the ones that know how to come back. And forests have been teaching that lesson for millions of years, quietly, patiently, under our feet. This is not just resilience, this is the recovery code. And, if we learn it in time, we may build systems that do more than survive collapse. We may build systems that regenerate after it. And forests have been teaching that lesson for millions of years, quietly, patiently, under our feet. This is not just resilience, this is the recovery code. And if we learn it in time, we may build systems that do more than survive collapse. We may build systems that regenerate after it. If this changed the way you see forests, systems, and resilience, like this video, and subscribe to Hidden Nature TV and Kiosh TV for more deep nature intelligence, hidden science, and powerful lessons from the living world. Because the next code we decode may already be growing beneath your feet.